he's got to keep his head down. You know, looking back is not advantageous. You know, if guys get to you, great. If they don't, perfect. You know, and you know, we can see it. He doesn't necessarily fully see it, but this Colombian guy goes super hard, and then he's got Cade Bickmore on his wheel, who's been just as active the last couple laps. So he's not going to be fresh to keep the momentum. The Colombian guy's going to flick his elbow, and Cade's going to maybe just go through, or he's going to be like, I'm too tired. You know, and Cade's just trying to be present in case, you know, a lot of guys come over the top. He doesn't want to miss the move. So, but it looks like Brian maybe has called it. Yeah, it's hard to say, but this is a massive turn by the Colombian rider to really reset the race.
Yeah, he's kind of set up, and the Colombian riders, as you talked about, track riders and road riders are very, very strong team that has come here to the Gateway Cup to be able to challenge over these 4 days, and the gaps are opening up, really getting strung out right now.
But if you're Miami Blazers, they've got to send somebody up the road.
They look pretty good right now, Miami Blazers. Oh, you mean counterattack this?
Yeah, counter and let their guys truly rest. Start to work the other teams that have just been resting. You know, especially Best Buddies. You know, make Best Buddies all of a sudden have to do a big chase. But now Best Buddies is just still resting. You know, not having to do you know, anything. So you got Hassini, I think, up there. It's an opportunity for him to just keep the pace high and cause splits. Maybe one of those Best Buddy guys in that wash as it came back together is out of place and has to do a big turn to get back into position.
Seeing 7 laps to go. Normally we have a sprint. So we did have the sprint with 7 laps to go. So that was Gomez obviously was off the front, number 14, to be able to take that win. And then so second place, it wasn't really, it was actually them chasing, wasn't it? I mean, wasn't a whole lot of action going on there. Looks like it went to Christian Rios from Emmanuel Barry. That was the maroon jersey of him bringing back Gomez. And then third place in that sprint, that went to Cade Bickmore. So they just stayed in line as they were more worried about more worried about Gomez than worried about the points.
Yep, and you can see Project Echelon didn't sprint there, looking towards the finish. Brandon saving his legs a little bit.
Yeah, Brandon's been he's been consistent. I don't want to jinx him, but he's going to come away with the American Crit Cup with not taking a win overall. I don't, he could win today, but I don't think that's going to happen. And that's just the way it works out. You know, sometimes you have to sacrifice, and a lot of people talk about risking losing in order to win. Well, he went the opposite direction to make sure he scored points, never risking losing. You know, he risked not winning in order to be able to win this entire series, and that was the main thing that was on his mind.
Yeah, and that's it. Sometimes it just falls that direction where you have one plan and it starts going in a different direction instead of fighting to get one. Fight so hard for a stage win, you maybe just have a longer outlook, and just say, hey, we're going to really go for this overall. And not fight for podiums or wins, but just really spend the attention to detail on securing the jersey.
And he's done a fantastic job with that because he has so many points. He's almost untouchable, and definitely in the sprint competition and in the overall. So, you know, over 10 races, he's been up there. I talked about it. You know, top 5 in every single race he has done, except for I think it was Harlem where he missed out on. But otherwise, he's had a very good 2022 Criterium season so far on Project Echelon. Project Echelon, a team that kind of ventures out into road and crit. I mean, you name it, they have different riders, gravel. They have guys all over the place right now. Cliff Bar, Andrew Doerr on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is one of the Colombian riders, and then this is a little bit of a lull.
This is that kind of like...
This is the pause before the storm?
Yeah, so now it looks like Aaron Beebe seeing that, taking advantage of it. And he's a guy that if you give him too big of a leash and he's feeling good, he could maybe make it. If he gets help for a couple laps from these two riders, it only helps him. So definitely 3, quote, not big teams, unknown riders, that if some of these big teams aren't careful and these guys get too big of a gap, it could be too much to bring back if somebody doesn't organize quickly. And so we're going to see here probably the next lap or so if teams are calling each other's bluff to say, oh, Best Buddies, this is on you. Miami Blazers, this is on you.
That's a good point.
Columbia, this is on you.
Which sprinter team is going to have to do the work, right? They're going to play a little bit of poker to be able to see who's going to be able to come up to the front and be able to do and chase them back. So right now,
and it's Cliff Bar, which is so strange that why, you know, they should not be setting the pace. It's not their obligation, regardless if they have a good guy. But
so in this group, Evan,
Danny Estevez,
Evan Busbasher, 24 years old, and made it. Ride Bikes Bro is the team that he's on. He is number 86 in kind of a whitish jersey. Then there was Luke Ferris, 19-year-old, and then Aaron Beebe from the Texas Roadhouse. That's Aaron Beebe pulling off in Texas Roadhouse in the front right there. And then Luke Ferris, we've seen Team Elevate. He's been active earlier in this race where we've been talking about him. And then we have Best Buddies now starting to be able to ride.
That's 10 or 11 seconds, you know, pretty quickly. Danny Estevez
to
get on top of it.
This is the biggest gap we've seen in the entire race right now.
Yeah,
5
close.
laps to go. This is what do you mean pretty close? Look at that. That is the biggest gap we have seen.
Yeah, so now we have, you know, Danny Estevez did the first one, Connor Saleh, you know, setting some pace. And I think once the camera changes, we're going to see some activity going up the hill from the group, whether that's a bridge attempt or just, that's Connor.
Connor Saleh trying to be able to bridge across. Big move right here. Strong rider, does a lot of.
But gaps are opening up, like behind the Best Buddies guy, nobody's chasing. You know, Alfredo, you know, is not.
That's because there's a best. There's clever Frank Travieso or Hassani is sitting up because they have Connor Saleh there, so they're thinking, hey, we're in good hands. We're going to let this go up which is decent. You know, you're going to force somebody else to do the chase. That's the idea almost all the time. Look at him from Elevate trying to be able to get
hyping up.
Yeah, he's trying to hype up the crowd. I mean, just get Arrow and try to be able to stay away from everybody.
Yeah, hopefully he's not, you know.
He's having a good time. That's the main thing that counts. So Luke Ferris, 19 years old, just trying to be able to have a great time here at Gateway Cup as we're coming down. We're getting down to the final laps.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes roughly left, 5 to go. Just, you know, no small task to ride 10 minutes.
Flat out.
You know, this deep. So, but I think there's a little bit of poker going on in the field. I mean, Best Buddies.
Yeah, look at the coasting. Look at the coasting in the chase group behind. A lot, not a full. You know, it's not flat out. Actually gives an opportunity for a lot of the riders in that back group to actually kind of catch their breath, and kind of gather themselves. Dennis Ramirez going through. Go ahead.
But it's Summerhill on the front, and now it's under full control. He's going up there, and I mean, somebody can ride this back all by himself, and nobody else from Best Buddies has to take over until a half lap to go.
And I think with Best Buddies, they were waiting for Summerhill. He's already done some work, and now if they can use Summerhill, then they can keep Danny Estevez fresh. They can keep Alfredo Rodriguez fresh.
Gomez recovered.
They can keep so they can keep a lot of their guys. But that's a little bit of a mixture, churning pot that's happening right now in that main field, because nobody has taken control with 4 laps to go, and that gap continues to go up the road. This would be an amazing
upset
story. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
any one of them, it doesn't matter. Evan Busbasher, Luke Ferris, or Aaron Beebe. For any one of these 3, if they were able to stay away, it would be incredible story here on day number 3 of the Gateway Cup.
And they've just got to go all in. There's no game playing. That's like, hey guys, we're riding this thing until we get caught, and we're all just going to sprint out of corner 4. You know, if you start playing games, you doom everybody, and it's just a waste of energy. They've got to go all in, regardless of what they see behind them at any given time. Who's chasing, who's not chasing. This view is very deceptive. It's still a pretty decent gap. And we have, I think that was a United rider flicking his elbow, and you see a larger team going, it's still too early for us to really chase or put the pressure on. And, you know, Cravens is right there. He's given instruction to say, you know, don't panic, not yet. And you can probably estimate.
Hands on the hips. Okay, Dad. Whatever you say.
It might be Grandpa at this point.
Yeah, 1.2 miles around. And so, yeah, it's not like a typical Criterium course where it's like 0.6 or something like that. So it is a little bit of a longer loop. And with the hill, the hill would put a little bit more fatigue in the front riders when we get down to it. But
and you figure
you're right,
you take
no
5 to 7 seconds, I think, out the last couple laps going full gas from a breakaway. So if you're in that 15-second margin, that's probably your cusp of what you could bring back in the last 2 laps. And they're well within that now.
Yeah, definitely well within that. And Luke Ferris, I think, knows that. The 19-year-old just trying to be able to drone with the crowd. Look how it's one line, tire to tire, nose to nose, all the way back. It's probably 25 seconds from the front of the group to the back of the group. Luke Ferris being in the front, Lindenwood University here being in the back of the group. These guys doing everything they can, working really well together right now. They're taking turns. The moment they hesitate, they are going to get gobbled up. And right now,
but if it's close. Good,
it's close enough. It's close enough now where guys are going to jump across if they haven't already.
Yeah, but I think if Aaron Beebe's good, he should just go.
He just went.
Yep.
He just tried to be able to go away. And didn't even wait for the climb. Normally, I was thinking maybe wait for the climb to be able to try to take advantage of opening up a gap a little bit bigger, but he went right away. So a fantastic move right now from Texas Roadhouse and Aaron Beebe. This could be the move that makes a difference.
Summerhill just riding away from the field.
Out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Beebe in the front. Summerhill trying to be able to come across, and then I don't think that's
United Butcher Blocks.
I think is that United? Yes, United now starting to be able to come up.
But it seems like some of the other
bigger
teams
Doug
are
Frinchak.
Out of place. I mean, the perspective is so hard, but Alfredo's there.
I was about to say that's the one I just noticed. I don't see Alfredo's right there. Clever's right there on the left-hand side behind one of his teammates too, which is an advantage.
Yep.
The maroon jerseys of the Colombian team, they're starting to be able to come up to the front of Emmanuel Iberi's second bike team. They're going to be a factor right there, but Summerhill has latched on to Beebe.
Yeah, and
Danny Summerhill,
he's
you haven't raced any. I mean, you spent a ton of time with him because of all that track preparation, trying to make the Olympic team and all that stuff. I mean,
he trains like no other. I mean,
you of anybody have spent more time with Danny Summerhill than all the cyclists put together. But you're right, the training he must put in because he's had a year off, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times you have training fitness.
It's just a year from racing. You don't have to not train.
You have training fitness. You don't have race fitness because of that speed difference.
Yep.
For Danny, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So this is
2 laps to go. Also, 2 laps to go.
Yep. At this point, Danny off the front like this just keeps.
This is great for Best Buddies
off the front for doing all the work and getting swarmed. They're going to fight for the front.
Brian Gomez fighting for the front, mainly to just keep Alfredo Rodriguez in a good position to be able to stay on that wheel. Remember, it's close in those overall standings. Not for first, as Brandon Fury has probably wrapped up the American Crit Cup after 10 races. But Clever Martinez sitting in second place. 40 points down from moving up into second place. And Brian Gomez, 76 points for moving up into third. And also got to watch out for Thomas Gibbons. Team competition as well up for grabs. You have Best Buddies, who's currently in the lead. Project Echelon only 110 points back. And so that's something that they're going to be thinking about also. Penultimate time as they go up the climb, heading in towards Bell Lap and 1 lap to go. Fight for position is going to be fierce. Getting ready, day number 3 here at the Giro della Montagna, presented by Fitz's Root Beer Bottling Company. If you're just joining us, I'm Frankie Andreu. Next to me, multiple national champion Daniel Holloway. As we're watching this race unfold, it has been wicked fast, constant attacks. And right now, will it be a field sprint or will it come all back together?
Peter Olachunik, trying to get across, but it's Ramirez. Very impressive to bridge across to this by himself.
Especially since he's not even a full-time pro anymore. He just races part-time, fun time. And so, I agree with you. Great move by Dennis Ramirez.
Yep.
And then Olencek just struggling right there.
Didn't make it. And Summerhill's got to just not get frustrated with these guys. Get to the bottom of the climb and just, do his best to just leave him in the dust. If he just goes from halfway down the backstretch up the hill, unless those guys are having really, really good days, Danny should be able to kind of leave him behind and hopefully he doesn't pull a Sonny.
I think Danny's already turned himself pretty much inside out. Spencer Movinzada, that was number 30 at the top. Butcher Box pulling off right now. This is a nice group right here.
Johnny Brown in the field doing his hero pull to bring it back.
Look at it strung out right now. Position is going to be important because this is going to be a hard time when after you come around turn number 2. It is going to be flat out.
Danny's got to go.
He's trying to be able to break away. Dennis Ramirez, you talk about having somebody not as strong. Dennis Ramirez is right in behind him. That gap's going to open up. So a good move by Danny Summerhill from Best Buddies as he's trying to be able to go to victory. Best Buddies is going to sit in the back of the main group, not chase. All the pressure now is on Miami Blazers.
Yeah, but Best Buddies can't be, rest too much or they'll get swarmed. So about halfway up the climb, we're going to really see just the drag race to corner 3 and see if Summerhill makes it.
He's got a gap. It's unbelievable.
It's still enough. It's still enough.
I mean, if
where's
Thomas,
Where's Clever? I don't see
Clever's
some-
right there. He's in the
he is.
middle.
Okay.
If Thomas Gibbons felt good, now would be the time to be able to go to try to be able to go across that gap. You know, if you have to have the legs. Look at Miami Blazers totally selling out. Johnny Brown pulling off, trying to be able to see best buddies. They're like, what do we do?
Yeah.
We have a guy up the road, and we don't want to get swarmed. They're trying to balance, keep position, not keep position. But for Danny Summerhill, 1 year off of the bike, now coming back.
Meet Zach. His work-life balance is anything but balanced, but when he gets on the bike, he becomes Zen Zach. And Zen Zach rides with Geico, because saving money and getting great coverage is totally chill. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
It's literally his third race back.
Just go. Don't look. Don't look.
He's trying to recover. He's getting ready to get arrow. Time to be able to get arrow and make your way down as Danny Summerhill trying to be able to win day number 3. It's the 10th race of the American Crit Cup here at the Gateway Cup.
Ethan Crane, maybe? Did he sneak into second?
I don't know. I can't see from this angle. If we go down to our start-finish line, maybe we get a better job. Oh, my goodness. He knows he has it. He knows he's going to be able to celebrate. Sitting up already. Best buddies, Danny Summerhill winning here in the Gateway Cup. Wow. Second, no, don't change. Oh, we lost our camera angle.
Alfredo, Clever Martinez.
Yeah, Gomez was there. Alfredo Rodriguez. Fury was right there also. So Fury should be able to pick up some good points. So overall, Brandon Fury should be able to maintain your overall lead as American Criterium Cup champion for 2022. Congratulations to Brandon Fury from Project Echelon. Team competition, that's going to be a little bit up for grabs, as that was a hard race. That was a fast race, and I can't believe Danny Summerhill pulled that off. That's an amazing ride. There's riders that race the entire season and never get to have a victory, and then you have somebody like Danny who didn't race for a year, comes back, and then, you know, third race in, takes the win. It's like Alfredo Rodriguez. When he broke his collarbone, he was off for like 4, 5, 6 weeks, and he came back. His second race back, he won.
He wasn't even off that long. From what I heard, 2 days later, he was on the trainer.
Well, he wasn't. He hadn't
spinning.
So he hadn't raced in a while. Is what I meant. He hadn't raced in a while. And then he came back 2 races later. He won. So great race. The 37th edition of the Bomarito Audi Gateway Cup, presented by Urban Chestnut Brewing here at the Giro della Montagna, presented by Fitz's Root Beer, and Danny Summerhill from Best Buddies taking victory right here. This great Italian neighborhood, The Hill. Some great Italian restaurants. You can get some cannoli, the coffee, the bakeries, everything all surrounding, all around this area as the riders right now on their cool-down lap. Trying to be able to celebrate. Well, yeah, maybe, you know, they're not thinking about tomorrow yet, but definitely going to be thinking about tomorrow because you have the Omnium, the American Criterium Cup. This is the final race. This is going to be over with. We're going to have our awards coming up, so stick around. Our Podium Awards for the day and for our overall Omnium is coming up. Gateway Cup Omnium, right? Last day, Benton Park. You've raced this pretty tough. You talking about they should be worried about it. Explain why.
It's probably one of the top 3 hardest courses in America.
What? Really?
Yeah. It's the 4th day of racing. It's at the end of the year, and it's deceptively difficult. There's elevation changes. There's just moments where if you take your mind off the race, gaps open, and it becomes fatiguing. The sprint is a tricky one, and so, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting race tomorrow. If you're local and you can get to it, I think it's going to be one of the more exciting races of the year. You know, we saw what happened in this race. Very late race, separation, gaps opening. I think tomorrow is going to be very, very similar type thing, if not a small group getting away, staying away, or potentially lapping. So, yeah, tomorrow's really difficult. There is a hill, you know, after the start-finish going up to corner 1. It does rise up, and that bites you. 4 days of intense racing, especially if the weather turns around and it's hot tomorrow, and it's going to catch some people off.
That would be a shock, wouldn't it?
Catch people off guard. So it's just it's a hard day because it's at the end of the season. You know, a lot of these different factors add up to make it a difficult day. But I think it's going to be some exciting racing if guys continue to be aggressive, and it's a really good opportunity from some small teams to just put it on the line. They've got nothing to lose at this point. Say, hey, we're going to put it out there. Let's get with a bigger team or two, find ourselves in this 6, 8, 10-man breakaway, and then maybe make some magic happen. Because clearly, if you sit around, getting top 10 at field sprint is
you're not going to beat. You're not going to beat Alfredo Rodriguez, Clever Martinez, and
Danny Estevez.
Yes, exactly. And Clever Martinez came out of the scene last year for the first time. I think it was a Tour of America's Dairyland, and he's taken the U.S. racing scene by fire.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of the track stuff for Venezuela, so he comes from a track background.
Incredible speed, and having much success here, absolutely for sure. For many of these riders also, they're wrapping up their cycling season. A lot of them are going back to school. A lot of the young riders, entering into the collegiate cycling program at the different universities that they're going, wrapping up the season, stopping. There's only a few more crits left. I mean, one of them is Doylestown or Bucks County Classic a little bit later on. But, Gateway Cup's kind of wrapping things up. And so my point is, what do you got to lose, right?
Nothing.
Put it out there, have some fun, take a risk. Would you? Here's our final results, our finial, as they would say here in St. Louis. Danny Summerhill, unbelievable win right there first. Clever Martinez in second. Alfredo Rodriguez picking up third. So that's going to be some good points. But since Clever has those points and Alfredo has those points, there's going to be no change in the overall because they were right next to each other in second and third as it went. Robert Sierra, wow.
Great
Best
result.
buddies. Great result by him and Ethan Crane. Great result, but not as much of a surprise because we know he has he has a very fast finish. Yes, so that's a good result to be able to get Project Echelon to Ethan Crane up there as well. Setting up right now for our podium around the start-finish line here. I forgot what I was going to ask you before our finish came up. It was something about going to Bucks County Classic and then finishing up the series. And finishing up the calendar year.
Yeah, it's the end of the season for a lot of guys that aren't going to go to Doylestown, Bucks County, Winston-Salem. That they have a really good opportunity to, in their season on a high note, take some motivation into the winter. Because if you don't take that chance, you end the season flat, kind of blasé, whereas if you go out and you swing for the fences and it lands, you're just going to be super motivated going into winter, or if you swing and you miss, you don't lose anything. You've at least really set your line in the sand of like, this is where I'm at, and this is what I need to do to get better for next season. And you have your benchmark if you go all in and just leave it all out there for those guys where this is kind of their last big national race.
Yeah, last big race, and obviously the 10th race of the American Criterium Cup. Wrapping things up. So let's head on down for our Podium Awards with Dave Toll, as we're going to have our podium for Gateway Cup and then our overall of the American Criterium Cup.
Great things about Gateway Cup is how we're able to travel to 4 different parks here, or this isn't a park, but 4 different destinations in St. Louis and have a chance to get a flavor for this wonderful city. So Francis Park last night, this is the 3rd of 4 races in the Gateway Cup. It's the 10th of 10 in the American Criterium Cup. So tonight wraps things up for them, the men and the women, and we'll have a chance to honor the U23 women's champ and men's champ, our sprint champs, obviously our overall men and women, as well as the hotly contested team competition here at the American Criterium Cup. So they've sorted out all of this data. We're going to get our presentation underway as our women have now arrived, and I'll make one last check before we get things going here tonight, starting with your women's top 3 here at the Gateway Cup. Today is the Giro della Montagna, one of the oldest races in the United States. I should say longest running at this point, 38 years of this event. And we're now ready to add to our honor roll. And now, let's begin with our top 3 on today's Giro della Montagna. She was the silver medalist at the World Championships just last year in Belgium, riding for human-powered health. This is the future of American cycling, Kaya Schmid. And now, 19-year-olds don't get beer. And now, we'll move to our silver medalist today. She's had a phenomenal season, getting better every week, and now your silver medal winner for LA Sweat out of Aptos, California, it's Danielle "Danny" Mooreshead. Leaving the top step of the podium, they call her the Cuban Missile, and that doesn't even do it justice. This woman is a human rocket ship for Virginia Blue Ridge 2024. Your champion, St. Louis, it's Marlies Mejias. That is a lot of horsepower with Marlies Mejias, Danny Mooreshead, and Kaya Schmidt, your top three here tonight. One of the most historic days in American racing. And we'll get all three on the top. Again, a big hand for your women's podium tonight. Kaya Schmidt, Danny Mooreshead, and Marlies Mejias. That is a lot of horsepower, talent, and class. Let's move now to our women's Omnium leader now. So this is based on the last 3 nights of racing. And here we go. She's freshly minted. It's the Cuban taking over here after day 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Marlies Mejias, your new Omnium overall leader. Boom, boom, out go the lights with this superstar. So we've got 1 day left at Benton Park tomorrow to see if Marlies Mejias will hold on to that jersey. It's gonna be a battle. Congratulations. Congratulations. We'll get our final photos here. And that is our women's podium, but we're not done with the ladies, but now we'll move to the men on today's race. Again, the Giro della Montagna. And I'll start with our overall top 3 today. I should say just our top 3 today. And I'll begin with, wow, what a season he's having. Came back from a broken collarbone in late June and is already winning at a record clip. They call him the Mexican Lion, and he roared tonight. Another bronze medal for best buddies Alfredo Rodriguez. Alfredo, the Lion from Mexico. Let's bring up now our 2nd place finisher. This is the Venezuelan wonder. What a ride today from our silver medal winner, Clever Martinez of the Miami Blazers. We talked about the 2008 silver medal that he won at the World Championships. He is back and in full effect. Let's bring him to the top step of the podium. Congratulations to Daniel Summerhill. Danny Summerhill on the top step. Don't call it a comeback. This is awesome to see. So Danny Summerhill of Best Buddies joins his teammate Alfredo Rodriguez with Clever Martinez. Guys, here we go. Oh boy. So a huge thank you to Urban Chestnut. They're gonna drink it. They know what's up. Yeah, don't waste the beer. We want to thank Twisted Willow for our beautiful book. I thought maybe Mike was getting married, but no, it's a bouquet for our athletes. And thank you to Twisted Willow for their support. All right, hey Danny, awesome. All right, now let's go ahead and move into our American Criterium Cup. before I do that, I'm going to bring up our Omnium leader here. As, well, calculations were made. This third place keeps him on top. This is the Mexican Lion. One more time, our Omnium leader, Alfredo Rodriguez. So the Best Buddies team will get a fresh jersey and our podium flowers. Thank you to Twisted Willow. And again, one more day, you're up on top as our Omnium leader. Yep, congratulations, Alfredo. Alfredo Rodriguez is our, after 3 days, our points leader heading into Benton Park tomorrow. Great job, Alfredo. So, all right, let's move now to our American Criterium Cup. I'm going to start with our U23 Women's Champion. And